Okay, welcome back. If you watched my previous JavaScript video, you will know where we left off with just getting basic stepping through the problem out of the way using buttons and events and all that. Today we are going to go over jQuery stuff to make this a little fancier, add some animations, accordion stuff, and reference things a little easier. So let's go up, and I like to go as around. So we want to know if we'll skip that. So next row calls that. Next row we want to add. We're going to start with an accordion object, another div. So we don't want that outside there. That would mess everything up. Okay, boop, 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 boop. We're just going to call this row div. So that's what I called it before. Document create element create element. Sorry, and we're going to make a div. And that row div dot set attribute, all familiar review. We want to make this a class and row. Oops, we'll just call it row, not make it a row. And we're just going to copy this and set the ID because we are going to want to refer to it later. Row plus current step. And we also want another attribute, row div, actually, what am I saying? Set attribute, on click, we're going to actually set, so when you click on the row, or this div, it will accordion. So this is a little, actually, we are not going to want to make this. We're going to use double quotes because we don't want it to be considered literal. And it makes so. What we're going to do is accordion plus well, we'll do it wrong first. I know you're going to be like, why? It takes more time, but I want to. So we can say current step in there. Oh, and we need a close bracket. So I'm going to save that, and we should be able to go view source. Down here, it didn't do anything. Why is it not? Now we're going to have to go inspect element. Inspect element. Sorry about that. So pull this over. We don't care about what we see. Open up our main controller, our inner main. Okay, so buttons inside row. Where's row? Oh, yeah, we're not. It is stupid of me. What we need to do down here, main area dot append child. This row. Row div. So that does that. That should fix what we're doing right here. So inner main. Okay, we got row right here. And you see on click accordion current step. And well, we don't have. So we'll go here, we'll go down all the way to the bottom because that's how I do things. Boop, boop. Function accordion. I hope I spelled that right. Oops. Okay, and we're just going to do an alert for simple showing off this hello. Okay, so by that logic, that did not. Okay, inner main row. Okay, so it's right there. We just can't see it very well for some reason. Oh wow, it actually worked. Okay, that was unexpected. It shouldn't. No, I guess since it's doing it through, because it is passing in current step, but it's passing in a string. We don't want the string because I'll show you later. Well, we'll get to it. Sorry. Well, you can see I'm doing this for the first time, presenting for this part anyway. So we got that. We'll go down to accordion for what we want to do, and now we'll get into some jQuery. So if you saw, what we want to do is collapse that row using the accordion found in jQuery, because jQuery has a lot of fun stuff. So what we want to do, say I, that's what we're passing in, is the current step, because we don't want to reference the step that we are, well, that we currently are on. We want the one we clicked. So, and we want to reference our class, or our ID of the certain row, and go row plus I, which is our number, which gives us the ID that we declared all the way up here. So row ID row plus current step. Okay, and what jQuery allows us to do is go to the next node in, well, just in the HTML. So that's one of the very nice things. So you in here say, hey, I want, find this one, find this node, so row, or row I, so like row 2 or whatever, dot next, and it will go to the next thing, which up here we declared was append called inner row div. So that's the next div, or the next element, and it will reference that one. And then there, dot slide toggle, oops, which will, it is a very nice built-in animation thing. We want over 300 milliseconds, which is about a third of a second, a little less. So we will see if this works. So right here is where that div is. I'm not sure why it's not showing up, but click that. Uncaught reference error. $sign is, oh. First, before we do anything, we need to reference our, I need to reference, what's it called? jQuery. Lives, jQuery. Okay. Boop, drag, and drop. That is also a nice thing. So we need to call the script of a for jQuery that, boop. Ah, yes, I know. Okay, run that again. So, boop, no. Well, it's not going to do anything because we're doing it wrong. It doesn't know what we're referencing. No, that's not it. So, what we need to do is, because up here, saying inside row current step, we don't want to do that. So we have a plus, and we actually want it to put in what the actual number is instead of just saying current step. There. Yeah, that should put the number in. But we can always check. Going to our inspect element. Da 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 da. And our main. Row, accordion 0, because we're on. So next, accordion 1. That's what we want. And then we should be able to click where that row is. I'm not sure why it's not showing up, but we'll figure that out as we get there. Boop. You can actually accordion all the different things. Whoop. Okay. So, what we are going to do, boop. Let's see, am I missing anything? Ah, yes. To make it a little, we're going to add another, no, do shortcut, not what we've been doing. Runner dot inner HTML gets a string, and we'll say plus minus to let people know you can click there. Ah! Okay, we can close this. Boop, boop, ah! So yeah, that's nice. So that's one of the many things jQuery can do for us. So another thing that you may have noticed, which is kind of ugly, is our boxes are all different sizes. That's gross. We don't want that. So what we can do is use jQuery to make all those the same size. So what we want to do, we're going to make a new function, and we'll do it underneath make rule. Function set box heights, and we'll pass it in the row, inner row, or the inside row that has all the boxes. So start with that. We'll implement it in the code later. So var, we want the height gets 0. Height gets $. We want to know what calling, so step box. That should just be step box plus current step, and we'll actually be calling this at the time of the step being created, so current step here will actually refer to the right thing. Dot, and we can height, which is wonderful with jQuery. Otherwise you'd have to go through the CSS, or if you didn't use jQuery, height would get document, that's it. Document dot get element by ID, and then you'd have to do step box plus current step. You have to go dot style dot CSS text dot height, and if the height isn't declared, it won't work. Nice thing about control. I need to find a shortcut for deleting the whole line. Nice thing about this, if height isn't declared, it will return null or 0. So height gets that. Then we want to check the two other boxes in the inner row, and originally I actually was sorting through this, and we don't need to sort through it. We can just call them one by one, because then we go through this whole thing only 2n instead of like n squared. So that was unnecessary, but there's an example. Box plus current step dot height. If it's greater than height, height gets this, which I guess we could have signed it, but since jQuery makes it nice, it's not that much to type extra. And then we want to do that again. So instead of typing it all out, I'm just going to copy pasta and make this step box, or row box, sorry. So we will have the largest height out of those. So what we want to do is from there set, oops, sorry, I clicked outside, $, reference jQuery, through all of them again. Oops, forgot to make this in quotations. Step box plus current step. Current step. And we'll do this the old-fashioned way first. Dot CSS. And this is for, actually, I wonder, I'm going to try something. You might be able to do this because it was wanting height. We will try it this way. Oop, that is an S, not a $sign. That would have screwed things up. I'll just copy this. Example box. This might not work. I haven't tried it before, but science. rule, and we want to call it, let's see, where did I want to do this right the first time? Yeah, we want to call it up here. So after they have been added, boop, boop, I'm going to set box heights in a row. I'm not sure why I'm passing in a row div in anymore, because I'm not using it at all in there. Oh, it's because when the first time I did it, I wasn't using jQuery. Now, since we're using jQuery, it is a lot easier. Okay, now let's see if that works. So, those all look the same height, but they're all one line. Those look all the same height. Oh, so do those. Same with that. So yeah, that works. That's actually nicer than what I had before. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's nice. So it doesn't look so much better. Okay. From there, let's see, what did I do? I didn't like how, like, oops, boop, boop. Oh, okay, so a thing that we have here is an issue, is we are now creating a bunch of rows when we previous. So, because we're not destroying the row, sorry, my throat. We are not deleting the row when we go through. So, now here's step back. So very similar. Well, boop, 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 boop. Oh. Okay, so var, and we'll just call it row. Gets document. I'm pretty sure I call it row, but I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Up here, row. Okay, plus current step. And then just row dot parent node dot remove child row. Okay, that should fix that issue. Next, next, next. Previous, previous. Yep, we got rid of. Ooh. Oh shoot. Now where is that? Okay, that was just hidden because I clicked it. So. I'm not sure why that's the same color as the background. Oh well. We'll live. Or I can go and edit the CSS. Where's row? 333, let's make it 111. That should make it blacker, I think. Yeah, there. Now you can see it. Not my original choice of color, but it will do. Okay. That makes it a little nicer. So yeah, what I didn't like is right here we've got these, they're all on the top and it should be center, and it took me freaking forever to figure out what we can do to fix that. Is we have to set the line height for, oh, wrong page, for each one of these. So let me just copy example, Control C, Control V, current step, instead of height. Right, current step. Okay, another thing that you can do, so current step plus, with jQuery that makes life so much easier, is you can reference stuff that is inside your container. So in this case a div, or if it's a P and it contains a div inside of that, or a paragraph, it contains a div inside that, you can use the I guess greater than, yeah, greater than sign to point at the next thing. So inside example we have a paragraph is shown, because up here, so we got these paragraphs and it will go through all of those. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And we can do line height, and we can say it's height. Okay, mine is 40. Just because of the way we have our padding. Oop, there's not a function. So yeah, this reads it as a string, and then it parses via the string. So that's why we have the plus and the P inside our quotation marks. And that does not seem to read it. but that is fine. We will do it a little more roundabout way, not CSS. And line height, comma, height minus 40 plus px. And the nice thing about JavaScript is it does this by left to right, so it's taking this number minus 40 plus and then concatenating this, making the whole thing a string. So you can cheat with that. Now we'll make this so it matches. Okay, that should work. Next, yeah, that works. That's that one, it's more in the center, but this one we'll see. So that just makes it look a little nicer. Not necessary, but we can do that with the same with rulebox. Yeah, the 40 is arbitrary, and yes, magic numbers aren't good, but we're here for efficiency. Sort of. There. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it is. It's there. This might be off a little bit, but it works. Boxes are the same size. But yeah, it has to do with padding, and since this actually isn't a P, but it's text inside that, we're not going to worry about that. So that makes that nice. Now let's add some animations. And if anyone has worked with ActionScript listening with this and know of GrainSock, and they do the tween max and tween light. I tried that at first and I love their stuff, but I just couldn't get it to work. But jQuery offers some really nice animation stuff. So yeah, let's go with that. So let's do it so when we add a row and such that it looks nice, or it grows out. What we can do is in here, we can make it really simple. See, set box heights. Yeah, we want that right above. So after we add this, we want to take row div dot slide down over 500 milliseconds. So what that's going to do, oh, not that, sorry. When we add, well, that doesn't make a difference because when we add it, it's already at full length. So what we want to do before that, it's a little cheap way, but it's nice. Dot slide up, and what we'll do is over 0 seconds, so it will do it instantaneously. So right after it loads, so you see that one kind of came out over half a second. Do that. Well, it's only this top part. The bottom part, not so much, but we will fix that. So it's still kind of jarring, and it's not animating super well because I am recording. So where did I think I did that within the set box height. Yes. So what I did is set box height, which I guess I could, oh, that's where I'm using in a row. Oh well, we can do it up here. So $sign in a row dot slide slide up in a row div, sorry, up over 0 seconds, $sign in, no, just copy this. I know, probably could type it just as fast, since I do have to retype basically half of it. Slide down over that long. So next, much better. Whoa. Ah, yes, that is a problem. See, now it just slides down to the height of the other two, since it is doing that before setting, or after setting the height. After setting the height. So Actually, we can probably set box heights before that. And that should fix our problem. I'm actually doing this a little different than what I did before, but we'll see. Yeah, that's better. Already tell. So yeah, that works. Previous doesn't have it yet, but that animates it going down. So nice, some nice sugar. If we want to animate going back up, we just come down and step back. Okay, so this is another thing you can do with jQuery that's really nice. So we'll just pop that down for now. Okay, so with the row, and $, row, and this is, yeah, because of the row we already grabbed. We don't have to do the current step. Dot slide up, since it's already down, over 500 milliseconds. We'll slide up. However, well, I'll show you. If we do that, and we'll have to keep an eye on the row. Go down, go up. It doesn't animate. It disappears automatically. So, that's something. Next point is it executes this, but it doesn't wait the 500 milliseconds or half a second to execute the next couple lines. So what we do is there's another nice thing. You can not override it, but add another on complete. Actually, I can probably. Oop, that's not what I wanted. So it's looking for a function I can put in there. The nice thing about JavaScript is you can just make a function just about anywhere. These are called lambda functions. They are expendable. So once you go through them, they are done. And you just put that right in there. And since this is technically within the scope of that, we can reference row. Yes. And it will remove it on with slide up on finish sandwich. It doesn't have documentation. But so yeah, once the 500 seconds, it calls this function, which we made a lambda function. So on here, we'll just go next, and the underneath deleted itself, but you saw that right here. Now we'll close this, and then over half a second, it closed and deleted itself. So what we want to do is basically the same thing. Just copy that there, call this inner, take this, Control X, Control V, and that should make going back nice. See? Much better. See, did I make sure that when you hit previous up here? Okay, yeah, you don't delete that. Okay. We're going to do one more thing. Luckily, we've been using all that with built-in animations, with the slide up, slide down. However, one of the things our client wanted for this is to be able to hide these outer columns of stuff with our steps and our rules. So that's why they have their own class names. But we'll have to actually make our own animation for that. So let's actually make the function first. So we want a function to hide column. We're going to be abstract so we can reuse this more and have less code that's the same, because we already have, a lot of that. So we're going to pass in the column name. So there's $, use jQuery, dot, plus, column, plus, and we're going to code box. Since they each had a separate thing, a separate name box. So we had step box, example box. It's calling, and the dot refers to the class that we did. The pound sign right here refers to an ID. So we just want to go for all of the classes and such. So box, and then it has a nice handy function called animate. Yay. Let's see. Now, can do is then, and we make little curly brackets because that refers, when you do stuff like that, you can edit the properties. So let's go with, start with opacity in the CSS. It refers to stuff in the cascading style sheet. So we want opacity to go to 0. We want the width, and it has a nice built-in thing where you can say toggle. So it'll see what the default is in the CSS, and when you call toggle the first time, it will take it to 0. And then if you hit say it again, it will make it larger. So toggle. And the thing, to make it a bit smoother, we do padding, and we will toggle that as well. Because otherwise it'll go and shrink, and then it will pop the padding that that element has without the animation, so it makes it a little jarring. We'll do it over 500 milliseconds or half a second, and we'll, I guess I have this in here, probably have it for a reason, is I have an empty function for it to do afterwards. Okay. So that should do it. We want to add some buttons, so we can, it doesn't have to be a button, we could use a div or anything, but I like buttons. So I think I had that on top of my main controller. Yeah. So we'll do an input type gets, oops, button. ID gets hide step column. And the reason I have it like that, you will see value, this is what it says inside the button, hide steps, class gets hide column, which doesn't really mean anything, but I have it there just in case for future use. On click, the important part, we're going to do hide column call. However, okay, this is something that took me a while to figure out, is, we got that. So we want to pass in what column we want to hide, and we want to pass in step. If we do that, it's thinking it's referencing a global variable, which is, oops, I pointed my finger at the screen, but which is the array. We don't want to do that. So a handy thing that took me a while is we can actually put the single quotes, which is a literal, which will make this into a string within our double quotes, which is just a soft quotation. I can't remember the exact term at the moment, and my throat's getting sore. So, and we'll close that off. So that should give us a hide steps. Do that, and nothing happened. And there's a reason for that. We had an error. Hide column is not defined. I thought I did that. Okay, well, we'll look. Hide column is defined. I did not save this. That is why. Remember to save. Hide steps. And look it, and it hit it. And you can do it, and oh, it brings it back out, but it doesn't make it visible. Also, another bug that we're going to do, you can do next. It does another one. You open this, close, open, close, next step. And it does weird things now. You can make it dance. Okay, don't need to get distracted. So, back to this. So we've got some Boolean references we need to make. Well, first, I call. Go back here, let's finish this function. So we want to reference that button because we don't want to just say hide even after it's hidden. So bar button get, and you probably guess, document dot get element by ID. So we're going to set attributes. Do the old-fashioned way instead of using jQuery. And we'll call hide plus call, which will be step in this case, plus column. That might look familiar of what we typed right here. That's why step is lowercase when you get in there, because we're passing in a lowercase step, because it fits with how we have step box. And then we do button dot set attribute. We want our value, which is what the text inside the button is, to be show column. Show column. Oh wait, no. We want show. Just show. Show. We'll make this lowercase. Plus call. Plus s. So show steps. Okay. And then button dot set attribute. We want the value, or not the value, the onClick. We want to change what the event handler, when you click it the next time, is going to be. So we want to call it show column. And this requires some fancy works. We need some escape characters, so we want our forward slash, I guess. Yeah, forward slash single quote. That way the single quote is part of the string and not an actual single quote in this case. You should probably know escape characters, but if you don't, it's good to know. Column, which is the one we reference, plus s, which we close that because s. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it took me a while to figure this out too because I wasn't getting the right stuff. And actually, I still need an escape character to close that for the quotes. So that way, when we hit it, it will actually pass this string in and not be a null. So that actually means we need to go to make a function show column. Just call. Short for column. Guess you could call it column. I'm getting distracted with words. Okay. This is pretty much the same. We just change a few things, so we're just going to copy it. You could probably make this into one function that automatically switches, but I'm not a huge fan of if statements, if else's, because they tend to stack up real fast. Have separate things. That way, if I want one that just shows them all, it just has to call show column and pass in the thing. So, okay, that should be the same, but instead we want the opacity to be 1. And then here we want it ID, hide, column, yeah. Value, instead of show, we want hide. And then here we do hide. And that should allow us to skip between them. Boop. So hide steps, show steps. Refresh. Hide, show. I must have forgot. No, I saved. Great. On click. Hide. Column, show. I did something wrong. Oh wait, we don't need that S there, do we? That is what's messing us up. Messes us up because that function doesn't exist. Okay, that should fix it. Yeah, nope, that didn't. Darn it. Now let's inspect our element. This is good debug practice. Intermin. Okay, hide column. Step. Okay, onClick. Oh, we've got 2 onClick functions. That's new. Dipper. Sorry, the cat's eating cords under my desk. Okay, so that's strange. Why is it? Okay, hide column just has 1 onClick. Press that, it now has 2 onClicks, but the value changed. OnClick. Oh, it's because it's onLick. I am not licking it, so that is our problem. And I really don't want to lick it, so we're going to change it to onClick. I made my wife laugh again. That's what I'm here. So, write steps, show steps. Oh, it still didn't work. But it's not changing onClick show column after that initial. And I'm mumbling again, I'm sorry. So hide column. It's still, oh, I forgot to save. No, I did save. Did it exit debugging? I think it exit debugging. So sometimes that happens and you just do that again. Oh, you're freaking onClick. Oh, that's onClick as well. Okay. That's our problem. Okay, hide steps. Show steps. There we go. Bloop, bloop, boop, boop. See? And then we still have the issue where we hide. Oh wait, no, so hide. A couple of new ones. Show. Whoop, whoop. So what we need to do is set some Boolean values that we reference. I just made them global. We'll do bar steps is step hidden gets false. Bar is, since we'll do the rules real quick because it will be super easy now, false. Okay, so back down to find column and show column. Okay. Here it's not as nice. I do have some if statements, which I know I said I hate, but sometimes they're necessary. If column triple equals step, then is step hidden gets true. Yeah. And then if... Okay, so another thing that I didn't cover with JavaScript in my last video is you have 3 equal signs is a designator, or is the equals instead of get, instead of 2 that we're normally used to, which 2 works. However, if it's 2, it doesn't check to see if this is a string. It just checks to see if it says steps. So you could actually have like an object that when you set up and return this, and it wouldn't check. If it's a string, it won't care. So it could be a number that says step. But really it's for if this is empty, it is also equal to null, and it's also equal to 0. And we don't want that. And NetBeans yells, it says, warning, you don't have 3 equals. So we want to make sure it's a string, and we want to make sure it's step. So that's safe there if you're checking to see if something, or you could say false with the double, and that will also equal the same thing. So, and rule is rule hidden gets true. Okay, we're also going to need, put this down here, make this false. Whoop. Hope this isn't too boring for the people watching, and I hope you're following along, and I hope I don't type too fast. So that's one thing. I don't like videos that just code magically appears, because then I have to pause it and then type it, and I'd rather listen and type along. Okay, where... I guess I can scroll down here so you can type now that I'm talking about that. Okay, well I find... Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, so what we want to do is up here in our next row, before we set box height, but after we add stuff to the scene, we want if is, we'll start with steps hidden $. We'll use more jQuery because jQuery is awesome. number rule box plus current step animate. We're going to animate these. Now we'll copy paste. So we want our opacity. So this is when you create it if the step is hidden. Opacity, when it makes the new row, it is going to automatically hide the step. So we want the opacity to be 0. We want the width to toggle. So it'll turn it off. We want the padding to toggle. And we want our function to be empty on the onComplete. And I messed something up there. I forgot, to remember to close the brackets right there. And we don't want one right here. Messing everything up. Okay. So that will hide it over 0 set. I forgot to put the time. That would have been over 0 milliseconds. So it does it instantly. There's possibly and probably a better way to do that. But, okay, rule box. Oop, we did rule box up there. We want this to be step. And this will be rule. And if rule hidden, because I want to make sure. Is that what I said up there? No, it's, I don't know why I did that. Okay, whatever. So, that should fix our bug. So we'll hide steps. Close that, close. Oh, we don't want to close that, but then go next. Hey, hidden, go through. Hooray, that works. So now that we did all that work, the reason I did it that way is we can go back to our CSS. We can copy this button, and all we have to do to add that second button now is hide rules, and instead of step we just put rule. And I'm going to change one little thing just for instead of hide column for the class, we're just call this the step forward button. That way it'll go all the way to the right over here, so it's over there. So yeah, and that broke. Great. Let's fix that. Set attribute of null. Okay, back to tutorial. Where are you catching that? Right here. Button set attribute show call. That's probably. Why is that? It's probably roll. It's only for that, right? Let's look. Right steps. Yeah, that works. Why is column not working? Okay. Let's index. Rule. That's fine. That's fine. I'd column. Oh. The idea is step column. We want this to be rule column. That's why I can't find it. There. I'd change that as well. That's the danger of copying, pasting. So hide that, bring that, it's all there. It's a little jittery, but it's because I'm recording. If you're doing this along with me, you should it probably moves very smooth. So yeah, that's nice. And I think that's where I'm going to end it on my original one, which I can't run and record at the same time. The next hit itself when it came down here, and the previous hit itself at the top. Actually, do I have... We'll add one more thing, sorry. Is we having this scroll... Let's add some stuff. Oop, that's not what I want. So, we want it so when we hit next, it would scroll down with us. That way you don't have to scroll after hit the button every time. So, we're going to add some stuff. We're just going to add a few breaks to better illustrate the point. So, let's see. We're going to add several more breaks, because this is a point to illustrate. And on the my ASP version, that might be a little too much. Yeah, no, that's good. We have a header and all that, that's all nice, but that requires a lot more back-end stuff that I really don't want to have to set up. Okay, you can't hide that. So, what we're going to do... Sorry, I might have gotten your hopes up that I was almost done, but if you're watching this on YouTube, you should have seen that I was lying. Okay, what we want is we want another function. We'll put this at the very bottom. Last function, I think. Scroll to bottom of page. I know it's wordy, but when anyone else reading this will know exactly what it's doing, which is good practice in industry. So, HTML. So, jQuery $, we want to look at the entire HTML, and we could put a comma. We could probably also go like this, body, to look at the body of it, but no, because that would go to, no, that would go to body, but we're just going to do comma. That works just as well, because that's how I have it, and I probably have it for a reason. Animate. We're going to use animate again. We're going to go to the CSS, the scroll top setting, and we're going to use jQuery with inside jQuery. Document, which reference the HTML, dot height. Okay, now you might think that should work, because it should go to HTML body, scroll top, whenever we call scroll bottom of the page. Let's close this, and where do I'm pretty sure I call that each time I add a row, current step. There we go. Oh shoot, where do I have that? Let me find it on my other one. I am sorry. Control F. By next. Okay, I figured out where I had it. So all the way back up here to the top. So on my slide down, when this completes, we want to scroll to the bottom of the page. So once that 500 milliseconds or half a second is up, it's going to call scroll to bottom. So document.height. And then we want over 500 seconds, and after that we don't want, you want a blank function. So you would think that when we go down, let's go down, and one more. It does scroll to the bottom of the page a little bit, but it does leave a gap. So if we go like that, and then the next one, not quite, but it's still within view. To make this a little cleaner, it took me a while to figure this out as well. See backwards.height. We want to go minus more jQuery. Window. That's the entire window, not just the document. Dot height. So that should also add the little bit, or really it's just the amount between that and the bottom of the scroll. If that makes sense. So when we run this, I might have to add some more breaks. So, okay. Woo. Something my computer's thinking. Windows Update is probably running again. So I could add a few more breaks, but whoop, and that did not work. Well, shoot. Well, shoot. Why is that not working? Let me look. Height, $ window height. Scroll top. HTML body. Animate. That should work. That is the exact code I have. We'll copy and paste. Okay. Could be that my computer is just like, oh my goodness, I'm running out of memory. That is not working. Really? Really? This is what my other code... going up works, because... Moved a little bit. Why is that? Window, did I spell it? No, I just copied this straight over. And that's exactly what works. Am I scroll bottom of the page? Semicolon. Got that up here. Scroll to bottom of page. Not passing anything in. Huh. Well, we can make do with just that. That worked pretty well. Not perfect, but I'm tired and my throat hurts. Oop. And that keeps going down. It could be that since I'm running this not through ASP.NET that there's something that's not calling through its multiple jQuery versions, and I could be on a different jQuery version with this project, and that's why it's different. Though jQuery is pretty good about backwards compatibility, but yeah. So that is it. So I hope you learned a lot. Didn't. I'm sorry. I know this is very specific of what I did, but it's what it is. So I hope you have a good morning, day, afternoon, evening, dead of the night, whenever you're watching this, and thank you for making it this far. Have a good time.